Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, you find a way to lose, and you can find a way to get yourself into a fight with Terence Crawford, which will probably take place outside of the ring if Teofimo Lopez continues poking at the bear. Now, Teofimo came out here and, looked like he was trying to punk Terence Crawford. Wasn't very friendly towards him at all. And I'm actually surprised to see Teo going this hard, trying to secure a fight with Terence Crawford. Now, let me pull something up to show you. Right here, Terence Crawford says, "I respect all fighters, but at Teofimo Lopez, he only fought 3 fighters worth even talking about, and that's Lomachenko and Ortiz beat him. Taylor lost his fight before Teo, and definitely should have moved up to 147, but we all know why he killed himself to make 140. And Teofimo Lopez jumps up and he says, "Hey, we either lace up the gloves or shut your whole blank up." Now, for those of you who may not be from the States, that's a pretty vicious insult. That's the same thing as calling someone a pussycat or the B word, or basically calling him a coward. And I'm going to tell you this, right? I wonder what's really gotten into Teofimo Lopez. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong for him trying to get the Crawford fight. I'm not a Crawford fan. I'm not a Teo fan. I'm a boxing fan. I think it's good for him to come at Crawford like this because now it has us talking, and it may force Crawford into the corner to where now people are already saying Crawford's ducking boots. Now they're going to say he's ducking Teofimo. Okay? But when you peel the layers back, Teofimo's sudden aggression and sudden desire to face a guy like Terence Crawford, you have to wonder from where that derives. I think it comes from Canelo Alvarez. I think they've sat down, they've talked with Canelo and said, "Hey, this is how we want to approach it." And I think that's why Canelo's like, "Y'all go ahead. I'm going to actually co-sign for you all fighting Crawford." Now, when you look at Teofimo, he made noise at 135. I don't know if I'd say he made noise at 140, right? He's making noise at 140. Not the guy at 140 that he was at 135. But anyway, he's making noise at 140. A lot of people give him a lot of credit for that Josh Taylor win. Crawford pointed out that, hey, Josh Taylor should have never been at 140, and that was one fight too much in a division where he shouldn't have been at. But nonetheless, Teofimo bubbling up to 147 makes you wonder how he would do at 147. But he's talking about going to 154 and fighting Crawford. This is my thing. If Crawford was the cash cow, a Gervonta Davis Canelo fighter, and brought big money to the table, I could understand Teofimo going at him. But I don't know if Crawford brings that much money to the table. A fight with him and Teo, would that sell? Is Teo a star? I don't know if Teo is a pay-per-view star, man. I don't think so. Is Crawford a pay-per-view star? It doesn't really matter because he got Turki supporting him. But I think that could be a big fight in Saudi, as long as with Turki putting the money up, even if it's in the States. But I'm going to tell you what, if Teofimo wants to have a chance against Terence Crawford, I'll tell you what Teofimo's going to have to do. Let me show you something. He's going to have to put on a performance like he did against what's his name, Lomachenko. Now, Teofimo Lopez was able to land 27% of his punches, 11% of his jabs, and 40% of his power shots. Let me tell you something. Teofimo is not going to land 40% of his power shots. Now, even though Crawford got hit with a couple shots by Madrimov, I don't think Teofimo is going to be able to do all of that. I just don't see it happening. And when you look at what happened between Teo and Lomachenko, where it says a tale of two fights for Lomachenko, who landed just 31 punches in the first 7 rounds. Teofimo fought a disciplined fight, landing an average of 15 to 55 punches per round. Let me tell you something. That would never happen against Terence Crawford. Simple, okay? So can Teofimo Lopez come out against Crawford and be in that arena of 27% punches landed, 11% jabs, and 40% of power punches? Can he do that against a guy like Crawford, what he did against Lomachenko? And remember, the first 6 rounds, 7 rounds against Lomachenko is more what Lomachenko didn't do. And when Lomachenko picked up the pace, he started having a lot of success. So they started a little too late. Anyway, Lomachenko, Crawford, I just have a feeling, because I just have a feeling there's going to end up being some shit that takes place outside the ring. I think Crawford or someone in Crawford's crew is going to lose their cool. And they can do what they want, but there are always consequences for your actions. You can't come out here assaulting people. But you can see Crawford just he's one insult away from really putting his hands on Teo. But Teo can do what he wants as well. But there are consequences for his actions, though. You keep messing and disrespecting people. Some people process it differently. Some people laugh it off. Some people say, we'll settle in the ring. There are others who are going to want to, when they see you, run up on you and put your hands on you. I like Crawford. Hopefully he has enough discipline not to do that. But Crawford's a prideful man. And also, Crawford and his team, and this is where you got to get certain people under control and get them from away from you. This whole thing with Teofimo is like, it depends on which monkey wants the banana, right? Talking about Crawford or Gervonta. Teo knew exactly what he was saying, referring to both of them as monkeys. He knew people would take that, and I think he knew what he was saying, and he knew that would offend those guys, and it would offend a lot of people. But Crawford's team, they're all taking it like Teofimo called him the N-word. And I understand gamesmanship. I understand what Teo's doing. But, you got to be careful with that, because when you say stuff like that, and that's for any race, right? Any boxer, regardless of race, when you start talking about other people and using, racial slurs or terms to degrade them, even if you kind of just walk in a kind of towing the line, it's all about interpretation. And I just think there should be harsh consequences for anyone. Even when Crawford was told Jose Benavidez, I'll knock the burritos out your ass. That's a problem. That's no different than someone saying, I'll knock the fried chicken out you, the watermelon out your mouth, or telling somebody anything along those lines. You pick any race, any culture, and just think of something that you could say to offend them and get under their skin. I think when that happens, a person should be held accountable. But look, they can do and say what they want, right? But there are consequences. But you can do and say what you want. I think the consequences should be severe. It's not going to change anything. In a way, I kind of like to hear the bullshit, because it helps to build up a fight and sell the fight, and it gets us talking. But some of that shit, it all stings me, when I hear things about people in different race and religions and, sexual orientation and all that. I mean, people can do what they want. I just don't think you should attack them and just want to, bully them for things that they choose to do. Now, if it's somebody out here, mistreating children, well, that's different. You know what I'm saying? A hood champion has a way he feels about that. I ain't gonna say it on here, but I'll just say if a person goes missing as a result of messing with a child, they just go missing, and that's just how I feel. But as far as in boxing and the shit talk and all that, yeah, I kind of like some of it, man. But I do think some people don't understand trying to sell a fight and promote a fight. And when those emotions start running, man, bad shit can happen. Anyway, looks like Teofimo out here punking Crawford. And we know Crawford ain't going to take that. And when he sees him, Crawford's already an emotionally charged person. Crawford is going to have another confrontation. This time it may be a bit more ugly. And the thing is, it may be Crawford's entourage to jump because they really have let that shit Teofimo Lopez said really get them worked up. And I'm not saying they're wrong for it. I'm not saying they're right. What Teofimo Lopez said, I ain't saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's right. What I'm saying is got us talking, and that's what you want. But the way they got us talking, hey, it's their choice. But there are consequences to your actions and to your words. And I do think Crawford should just settle it in the ring with him, man. Don't do nothing stupid. But anyway, let's see what happens. All this tells me is Canelo ain't fighting Crawford. Simple. In the breeze.